love me, yeah, they love me. First love yourself. For that, and God we trust me. I don't trust myself. Your jewelry, I get it took. No show.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is.
Not today. No. Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. The app is an easy way to make some cash just by making picks on your favorite players. Underdog is available in more than 30 states, including California, Florida, Texas, and New York, just to name a few. Make sure to support the show by hitting the link in the bio and downloading the Underdog Fantasy app. They will also match your first deposit up to $100, and you get a special pick when you sign up. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts Mase and Kim, and we are joined with our analyst, Mark Jackson.
Woo! Killer, what's good? Mark, what's going on?
What's up, man? How you doing, man?
Chilling, man. Where are you at? At Juicy Fest, Killer?
Literally.
I'm in Miami. I'm in Miami Fest in my crib. I told niggas I got 28 Zoom days. I'm spreading my shit out. This is my third time ever on the Zoom without you. I'll be back tomorrow. My builder put me through the ringer. Yo, Mark, what's up with your man Doc losing his first game and all that?
It's not easy winning in the league, man. They lost to the championship.
Stir the pot, Mark. Stir the
Oh,
pot.
man. That's crazy, man. You still think you're the man for the job, huh? Okay.
We giving them 10 games, Mark, like they gave Ty Lue. Give them 10
Yeah, we
games.
give them 10. We give them 10 games.
Difficult with Doc, man.
Hey, yo, listen, he got just as many championships as Giannis. Giannis may feel away like, yo, what you did that I didn't do? Got the same amount of championships. what you did that I ain't do out here? Matter of fact, have you ever even been a league MVP when you play, homie? Come on, man. What you talking about?
He could say that to anybody then. Notice I didn't like the post when y'all posted that.
That was on
Yes. Yes, Mark, be an objective voice.
Thank you, man.
Right.
Appreciate it.
So we're going to roll past that question.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get to the Pacers. So Tyrese Halliburton is 3 missed games away from not being eligible for all NBA teams. He was out because of a hamstring injury. He said, I think it's a stupid rule like plenty of the guys in the league, but this is what the owners want. So as players, we got to do our job and play in 65 games if we're able to. So do you think it's a stupid rule?
I don't agree with the rule because I think that the people that have a vote should take it serious and then have an understanding of, for example, how impactful Joel Embiid was last year, missing, a chunk of games. He won the MVP missing a chunk of games. You should be able to look at the impact that a guy like Halliburton has on that Indiana Pacers basketball team in the season that they're having, and be able to make a solid vote based on how long he was absent and his impact on the team. So we shouldn't put restrictions on the vote.
What you think, Killer?
I don't think it's Tyrese Halliburton's fault. He may have had a significant injury. Look, a hamstring injury is no joke. I still have a actual lump in the back of my leg for a hamstring injury that wasn't never treated right when I was playing basketball. So I know that hamstring injuries are really no joke. With that being said, it's not Halliburton's fault, but it's other players' fault prior to this season when they made this rule. Load management, taking games off, rest, getting ready for the postseason. I do think it should be a significant amount of games you play if you're eligible for any award. I'm not going to blame Halliburton, but you got to think of all the people and this is probably my favorite coach, and then Mark Jackson after him. But you got to blame Greg Popovich for starting this shit. All the rest, not playing the Spurs on Christmas Day in Miami. The following year that Miami went to the championship with the Spurs, let everybody take off. Tony Parker, Ginobili, Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard. And then you sit there and say they need rest. They're old. The excuses he was giving was crazy. And I understand that people are revving up for the playoffs, so on and so forth, but it's a lot of a lot of guys that just take games off and they're still eligible for these awards. It's going to hurt other players like Halliburton, who is really hurt and injured, and I don't think he's faking at all. But at the same time, the best ability is availability. And if you're hurt all the time, and I'm not saying he is, I'm just saying example, you shouldn't win the award.
Yeah.
You know, we got guys that we talk about going in their ninth season of college football due to injury. It's ridiculous. A 28, 29-year-old, or however old they are playing against 18, 19, 20-year-old kids in college because he's hurt and because of COVID. Then this injury and that injury and that injury. And Maurice Claret gave us a great breakdown of why they do that. But when I played college basketball, you get 1 year of redshirting, whether you're hurt or not. And that's that. And I think that this is a great rule because my opinion is, look, it isn't your fault that you're injured, but blame the guys before you that was just taking time off because they want to take time off. CJ McCullough made a great point. I'm not sure if he's still the president of the Players Association or not, but he was last year or the year before that when I was watching the interview, and he said sometimes that players don't even want to take games off, that the team makes them take games off, saying, look, you're a nine-digit investment. We need you for more important games. So sometimes it's not even the players that want to take games off. It's the coaches or the staff or the training staff or the GM saying, let's reduce his minutes. Let's make sure he's available in April, May, and possibly June. I think all this factors into the awards, and I'm not mad at the rule at all.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mark. You want to share before I share?
Mark?
No, the only thing I agree, you know, to a certain extent of what Killer just said. The only point I'll make is, if I'm a franchise player and my coach or the training staff comes up to me and try to tell me to take a day off for load management, I'm from New York City. We played every day.
Yeah.
Anytime the ball,
Yeah.
I look at him like he was crazy. I'm playing.
Yeah.
We have some guys like that, but you also have some guys that is easy to convince, and it's proven. The commissioner and the experts came out and said there's no data that justifies load management. So that's my concern. I come up from a place of, if the ball is in the air and we playing, I want to play. I don't want to come to the arena and put on street clothes and sit down. I'm not comfortable doing that.
What was that
And
gadget
listen,
just happened on Mark's screen? Mark,
The thumbs up.
the thumbs up.
thumbs
Speaking
up.
facts.
Okay, Mark, you just did that, Mark?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Oh, that was crazy.
What I would like to say real quick, Mace, before you go, look, and it's a different mind state for players today as the players yesteryear, so to speak. I don't know your resume, Mark, as far as attending games and so on and so forth, but I do know Karl Malone's in his first 18 seasons. Karl Malone's first 18 seasons, he missed 6 games in 18 seasons. 6 games in 18 seasons.
Mm.
We got niggas missing 6 games in 2 days. We already know they're not playing next week or the week after, this, that, and the third. That is an amazing stat, and I can't speak for everybody, and I'm not saying that everybody got the endurance of Karl Malone. But listen, man, it wasn't a big deal to play 82 games years ago. Now we got to put laws on the league, so to speak, to say if you're getting nominated for first team, second team, third team, MVP, defensive player of the year, rebound player, whatever it is, whatever award you can win, you got to play a certain amount of games. I remember 82 games was not even a stat. Now when you talk about it, you be like, oh, by the way, he played all 82 games. 1 year the Joker won, and I'm not saying he didn't deserve to win, but it was actually a stat that he played all 82 games the year before last when he won the MVP. And I'm like, why is that a stat now that players play all 82 games? It's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because, for one, if somebody is not playing the game, the first thing you want them to know is that the fans want to know is that they're hurt. Because if we're paying all of this money to sit front row and to be at the games and you're not showing up, then that's kind of like false advertisement. Another thing that I think one of the reasons why they make people just not take the load management because pause. If they show up in the game and you rest them during the game, then they mess up their numbers, it mess up their averages and things like that. So I think we got both of those things to consider simultaneously. When really it should be like if you're not gonna play, then it should be penalized because it's starting to affect the people that come to watch the games. We're paying to see people play. They should play. If they're not gonna play, then it should be definitely super penalized because the people I grew up watching, they played all the time. Just like Mark, we played all day, we played all night, we played until the sun came up. So it's like I don't understand how people that love the game can't suit up. And if you don't love the game and you're just playing for the money, then that's another conversation. And
Then you're wasting a roster spot.
yeah, you're wasting a
Good.
roster spot. And then when that happens, then I understand why Giannis can give a spot to his brother. If we just wasting spots, niggas ain't gonna play. Put my cousin down. And now
No, a coach made a good.
so it's
I
turning to-
don't mean to cut you off. No, that makes sense. But a coach once made a good suggestion because the training staff and those experts are the ones that come to the coach or the general manager and say it's a load management day. I believe, and he said something I totally agree with. That training staff's contract should be in line with the coaches and everybody else because it's easy for me to say give the Joker a day off when I'm good and I'm secure. But if I know he's going to miss a game and we're potentially going to lose that game and we're potentially going to be fired in the long term because of him missing a game, now all of a sudden it's not as easy for me to say give him a day off. I have something invested in me and I want him to play as much as possible as opposed to giving him days off.
Why not take a day off on your day off? Why take a day off on a work day?
Yeah, because you
Dave
get
Trick
days
folks.
off. Yeah, that's a great
Dave
point. I
Trick
like that,
folks.
Mace.
Yeah, take a day off on
Take
your
a
day
day
off.
off on your day off. Yeah,
Yeah,
fuck is
we
they
paying
talking about?
we paying
me-
you we paying you 300,000 today. Why take a day off today? Take a day off when it's a day off. I'm a businessman.
Not only
Makes
that, not only that, if your contract ain't set up to certain shit, they still getting paid on a day off. You're robbing niggas.
Yeah, you
Straight
robbing
up and
niggas.
down. Let me ask you this real
Jordan
quick,
played
Mark.
Jordan played with the flu, man. These are the people I
Listen.
grew up watching, man. Jordan played with
Listen,
the flu, man.
Isaiah played with no ankle. He had his ankle was hanging off his ankle. Like, yo, his foot was dangling. Had 25
Who was that?
points
Well,
in a
Bernard
quarter.
King? How Bernard King
Yeah.
played?
No,
Running
we
out
talking about
the
Willis Reed.
yeah, all
Willis
them
Reed
niggas.
Willis Reed coming out the locker room. Listen, man, Kobe Bryant just shot his free throws with a torn Achilles. I don't want to hear that shit. Mark, let me ask you a question real quick. Do you find it suspicious that Joel Embiid has not played in Denver since 2019?
I'm not around him, and you certainly look at it and your ears perk up when you see he hasn't played in Denver since 2019. But it looks like he had legitimate knee concern this time around. He missed the following game last night in Portland and playing tonight in Golden State. So I know there's something to it this time. I can't speak for the previous times, but you want to see the best players, especially at the same position, go against each other when it matters most, when the lights are brightest. So it's somewhat disappointing.
Senator Mark Jackson. I approve this message.
Yeah, message.
Yeah.
Word to
Mayor
mother,
Mark
mother.
Jackson. I
Right,
approve
yeah.
this message.
I approve this message. I told word to mother, Mace. We might as well go, boom. This is approved by it is what it is. yo, listen, man. It's mighty. So let's do what you just said, Mark, right? You have a good game last week against the Joker in Philly. You go to Denver. You like, nah, I'm gonna have my one game up because I don't know what this nigga's gonna try to do to me now that I just bust his ass in Philly. So I don't think I want to play with him against Denver. You know what? I'm not even gonna waste my time up make the Portland game look like I got a real injury And then, you know what? Let's go against Steph Curry and Draymond and them because Looney's their center, and I should have a field day on Looney. That's how I'm looking at it. It sounds like a pure setup to me.
Hold on. Now, we're talking about Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the Joker, two of the all-time greats at their position. Their mindset, in no way, shape, or form, is ducking any smoke as far as I don't believe. If I'm Joker, I don't believe Embiid can stop me. If I'm Embiid, I don't believe Joker can stop me. So I got no concerns about being dominated. I'm going to get my numbers and I'm going to play great. So I don't think that's an issue for either one of those guys.
So then why he ain't show up in 5 years?
5 years. It's been 5 years, man.
Yeah.
It ain't one of these years you say, you know what, I'm going to take off this game to make sure I'm ready to go to Denver and prove my point in Denver.
Yeah, take the Portland game off. It's raining, all of that.
Yeah.
Just show up to Denver.
And you know what? Matter of fact, I get with Golden State when I get to them. Mark, you just said it. Two of the best centers that we've probably seen in a long time. And I know the center position has changed as far as shooting threes, bringing the ball up, stretch point, whatever you want to call it. But these are two all-time greats, especially for this generation. If you just made some great points. Why isn't Joel Embiid saying the same thing you saying? You know what? This is what they want to see. This is what they want to see. This is starting to sound like that little 3-ring boxers with Shakur, Tank, and Haney. They never get to fight each other, and that's what people want to see. You get yours off at home. You've been ducking Denver for 5 years. I'm not going to disagree with you, Mark, and say this all-time great. I'm just going to say shit is fishy. Very fishy, man.
Very suspicious.
Fishy, baby.
Very suspicious.
Very suspicious.
So reports are being said the NBA is supposed to investigate it. So hopefully soon we'll get some sort of answer because I think a lot of people have questions.
You know it's crazy when niggas got you investigated. You investigated for not showing up in Denver is crazy.
Under investigation, my nigga. I like that. Adam Silver, get his that he need to be under investigation.
There's no investigation.
That's what Mark and Van Gundy used to do. Said he was missing all game. Now they're making real investigations.
Hold on, Mark. What were you about to say about the investigation?
There will be no investigation. It's guess what? If you miss a game because your knee is sore and tendonitis, what's the commissioner going to do? What's the league going to do? They're going to try to find out from the training staff, why did he miss a game? Well, his knee was sore. There's no way to tell whether his knee was sore or not, and he missed the following game. So, to me, the investigation will never take place, and they'll never find anything. He missed a game. He has an injury-prone history as far as his knee. So I think you just charge it to the game, and hopefully down the road they continue to play and put on great performances.
They should start giving people their money back, Cam. That should be the investigation. Can we get our money back if we pay to see Embiid versus Joker and they don't ever show up in 5 years? I need half of my money back. It's $10,000 to be front row.
I think that's a great point, Mark, because we talked about that. I'm not sure if it was yesterday or last week, but we talked about that, how you can't prove if somebody's hurt or not hurt. And we just talked about that. I believe it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. And we're saying that there's no real way to tell if anybody's hurt. But let me tell you this much. And this is kind of the answer to your question too, Mase. Both of y'all at the same time. Pause. When you say you want your money back, Mase, as a fan, which I would want my money back too, and Mark, you're saying that it's not really going to be an investigation. The fact is this, to answer both your questions, the word investigation means something. So regardless of if there's a real investigation or not, it makes you more secure as a fan that they use the word investigation. So even if Mase, you want your money back as a fan, we're going to say, or myself or anything, no, hold on. He's under investigation. We're investigating it. So don't ask for your money back. It's under investigation. And then to your point, Mark, even if it's no investigation, Just using the word investigate. Nobody, and I know NBA is different, but imagine on the street, they say you under investigation. You like, hold the fuck on. What the fuck I'm under investigation for?
You start acting right. Yeah.
The word investigation is never good. Regardless of it's jail time or basketball or anything else, a fake injury, you don't want to be under investigation. And I think that's a word they use to make people more comfortable that they're looking into something that they may not even really be looking into. With some insight from Mark is what he's telling us. Because you can't prove an injury or not.
And just for more clarification, because I'm sure people were like, where did you hear that from? But so Mike Malone in an interview, he did say, we've had situations this year where we talked to the league and they told us if a player goes from being active to out, there's going to be an investigation. So I'm sure it'll happen because both parties have felt some type of way about this continued behavior. So I don't know what will end up happening, but I know there are a lot of fingers being pointed and people have a lot of questions. And you got a lot of questions, people need answers. So it's going to be hard to kind of have a definitive answer, but I could foresee something happening or being told to us, but we'll see.
The thing about it is Mark made a great point, same point we talked about. You can't really prove if somebody's hurt or not. Look, they go like this. Ow. Ow. You can't tell me that don't hurt. You can't tell me that don't hurt. It hurt.
Right.
And to make a point, he's playing tonight against Golden State in the first half. He falls down. He comes up limping. If he misses the next game, he may be able to play in the next game, but he's not 100%. So you can always prove a reason to keep a guy out. Yeah. There were guys that played through injury in that Denver-Philly game that was hurt, but had the ability to play through it. Some guys are not cut that way.
That's real.
But this also
ow, and they say I didn't touch you.
Right. But this also goes back to the player participation rule that we were originally talking about. So it's trying to hold guys accountable if it is just fake injuries. And then this brings us to our next question, because we did start up talking about Halliburton. So on Tuesday, the Pacers lost to the Celtics 129-124. The Celtics are currently first in the East. Are you surprised by their standings right now?
I'm not surprised by it. They're an outstanding team with great history to last, since Tatum and Brown got together. They improved their roster by adding Kristaps Porzingis, a guy that can stretch the defense, knock down mid-range jumper, knock down the three, and then protect the rim with his shot blocking ability. So great versatility, outstanding backcourt defenders in Drew Holiday and Derek White, proven veteran in Al Horford. They are a very talented basketball team that's very well coached. And it's going to be a problem to deal with moving forward. But I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, I'm definitely not surprised. When you look at this team, I think they're one of the most balanced teams in the NBA. Even though you have the Denver Nuggets with Joker and Murray, and then you have other teams, this is the most balanced team I could look at. When you look at from defense and offense on both sides of the ball, I know you probably want to say Miami, but don't start that Triple J stuff.
I'm not. I have my favorites, but I still can see the stats.
All right, I'm just making sure. We just making sure. What do you think, Killer?
I think the pace has been falling short since the in-season tournament. They're having great success against Milwaukee, who's in the second seed right now. Outside of that, they shaky. The target's been on their back. They was feeling themselves as, they had a great beginning to the season. Especially, we didn't, and I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't know how exciting the in-season tournament was going to be. I was really excited to watch it. They treated it like a championship. It doesn't feel like that being that we're a month and a half or a couple months away from it. But leading up to it, it was kind of like, oh, shit. Oh, this shit is all right. This season tournament's all right. And I remember New Orleans, specifically Zion and Ingram, doing an interview saying, yeah, if we win this thing, we're going to go out and celebrate. They got shut down for talking shit early to LeBron and them niggas. And the same thing with Indiana. They beat Milwaukee. Halliburton started all this Dame time shit. And they feeling themselves, and the season goes on. It's a long season. This is more about Indiana not maintaining where they were at in the beginning of the season as opposed to the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics has been to the championship the year before last, the Eastern Conference Finals last year. For me, it ranks upon Boston winning the championship with this team. It's not about the end season. I'm not shocked at where they're at all right now. You just gave Jalen Brown $325 million. If you gave Jalen Brown $325 million, how much you going to give Tatum? You're going to break the fucking bank when it's time to pay Tatum. So this team needs to win a championship, especially where you're going to spend maybe $250 million on two players. A championship is what they need to see. As far as them, they're where they're at now, I'm not shocked. What I will give them slack on is this. You had two head coaches in the last 2 years, and you have to gain some rhythm with your coaching. Me and Mase talked about this the other day. We have 5 head coaches in 3 years. We played in Manhattan Center. We had no rhythm with no coach whatsoever. So when you have 5 head coaches in 3 years and you're trying to learn different systems and so on and so forth, it's not easy. So that's the only slack that I would give the Boston Celtics outside of not winning the championship. You know, if they had the same coach last year that they had the year before, maybe they may have won the championship because they had some rhythm. Now this is their coach that they have now, second year, and the expectations is championships. I think they did a great job with getting Brad off the bench and putting him in the GM position after Danny Ainge left. Danny Ainge did a spectacular job there. He got a championship. He's Boston Pride even when he played with them. I thought it was a great feeling for him as general manager. His time was up. Sometimes it's just like that. But this is going to be purely based off if Boston wins a championship, especially with the money that they're spending on 2 players.
Yeah, they better win a chip. There's no other way around it. It's like when you look at this team, what else do you need on the team to win? That's what I'm thinking about. When I see this type of team, when you come back in that locker room, there's no excuse you can make. You got Porzingis, you got Tatum, you got Jalen Brown, you got even the guy that got the headband all the way up to here. I forgot his name, White. You got
Not only
Derek
that, not only
bro.
not only that, murder. You got championship experience with Drew Holiday on the team.
Mm-hmm.
They everything is set on the championship for this team. And you're right. You have everybody, you have all the pieces that you need. I was saying that, so I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just adding Drew Holiday into all the people you were naming.
Yeah.
To me, their championship is based upon Porzingis' health. And he has not proven to be healthy
And
the whole season, let alone, go ahead.
I don't even give that as an excuse with Porzingis not being there because you got Al Horford. I mean, they have every single thing you need on that team to win. But right here, heart. That's what we're not talking about. Sometimes it boils down to, want this a little bit more than you. It's not in nobody else's hands. When you start talking about people being dogs, that's what it boils down to. Like me and you, Cam, we argued for 20 years that you wasn't going to let it go, pause, and I wasn't going to let it go. And if he doesn't say nothing, I'm not going to say it. People like it's 10 years where it's going to be 11, and then they come talk to you and you say it's 12. It's going to be 13 then. It's going to be 15 then. That's what we need on Boston. We need somebody to say, I'm responsible for this. This is my team, and watch where we go. That's what I'll say to that.
And then, Mark, I got to ask, do you agree with their points?
No, I agree with that points. When you look at that team, I think there was a point in the Golden State Boston series where you listen to the Warriors players and they smelled blood. They realized this is ours for the taking, and they took advantage of it. You understand you got to go through situations like that. Boston did. Now do they respond and react in the proper way? They certainly have the talent. I think when it matters most, come playoff time and come Eastern Conference and championship time, shorten the rotation and put the emphasis on your superstar players, Tatum and Brown, to carry the load and put them in position to win the championship.
Points. Moving along, Steph Curry will play Sabrina Ionesco in the first WNBA NBA 3-point challenge crossover, and this will happen during All-Star Weekend. So first, who do you think will win? And then what do you guys think about All-Star Weekend incorporating this event?
This is pretty cool. Are they gonna put the women
It
in the
is cool.
dunk contest?
I don't think they're doing women in dunk. At this point, they might as well because like. But yeah.
This would be a
No, I
great
think
way
it's
to
a
get
great-
their money up. Go ahead, Mark. I apologize.
No, I think it's great. This is exciting for the game. Sabrina's a spectacular player, put on an incredible performance during the All-Star weekend for the WNBA, and it draws attention to the game. And it you know, the NBA and the WNBA is a brotherhood, a sisterhood. There's a lot of excitement, so I'm looking forward to it. I think it. You know, obviously, I'm going to take Steph Curry because he's the greatest shooter of all time. But on a given day, anybody can win, especially when you put that type of caliber shooters in the gym together.
Mark, I got to ask you something because you're here. And this is not just for clout. There was a guy on the internet. He said there's some high school teams that could beat WNBA teams. Do you think that's true?
No.
Okay.
No.
I just wanted to ask
I
you
get into this
professionally.
all the time. Now, I get into all of this all the time with Jeff Van Gundy because he was a Division III basketball player, and he believes that, you know, he could give them business. And no, stop. I say this. Today's WNBA players are incredibly skilled. It's not yesterday's, and yesterday's was great. But today's, their skill level, their shooting ability, their ability to make plays, it is a joy to watch. And I've seen Jeff Van Gundy play.
Yeah, there was a lady named Teresa something. She made me stop playing basketball. She almost beat me, and I said, I got to be losing it. She was in the WNBA. I had to retire after that. That's a little story.
Oh, Teresa Weatherspoon?
Yeah, one of them Teresas. I forgot who it was. I try to forget.
Yeah, she's in New York. She's in New York. And yeah, she's the coach of the Chicago Sky now.
She almost beat me.
She gave you the business?
I had to retire after that. I said, I must be losing. I didn't know.
Did you say she almost beat you or she beat you?
She almost beat me, Mark. I'm from New York. We're not going with that. We can't go with that.
Yo, real quick, I want to chime in before we go to break. I think this is great for the WNBA and the NBA to collab on this. She's an outstanding shooter. And I think that I don't know the way to go about it or how it's going to get done. And I know it's based on advertisement, ticket sales, sponsors, etc. But we need to figure out as a basketball community how to get these females paid some more money. Like the money that they're making is nowhere near. NBA players are making more in one game than some of the top female athlete, WNBA players are making all season. You know, I was looking at Caitlin Clark's NIL deal, and she's making a little over $800,000.
Yeah,
and they're saying that if she was in the NBA, that would WNBA, pardon me, that would be she'd be getting 25% salary of what she's making off NIL deals right now. So I don't know how it needs to get figured out and done. But watching the last two seasons, especially living in Vegas, watching the Sky, man, they've been really great to watch and exciting. And even the other day, LSU versus South Carolina was the #1 sports ratings that night. So any other any other NBA game that was on, hockey, whatever sport that was on that night, those teams played, did not get the ratings that South Carolina and LSU game, females NCAA game got that night. So that also needs to be taken into consideration. But hopefully they're looking into things like that. I really believe Mark Cuban, and people going to say I'm bugging, but I really believe Mark Cuban, because he's the one to do it, give Caitlin Clark a tryout for the Dallas Mavericks as a shooter. Mark, give her a tryout. You're already in the thinking outside the box. Let's see what she can do. That girl walks over half court and shoot, man. I think she's better than
Look how
Sabrina and
Mark
shooting. To be
looking
totally
at
honest,
you. Look
Sabrina
how
could do it.
Mark looking at you. Look
I
how
don't
Mark
care.
is looking at
Listen,
you.
man.
Look how
Yeah,
Mark is
listen, man.
looking.
We believe even if she don't make the team, you're gonna make news for giving her the tryout. I would do it. You know what publicity? That's free publicity, my nigga. Mark Cuban again thinks outside the box. She didn't make the team, but you gave her the shot. You gotta market this shit, baby. This is all marketing, my nigga. That's gonna work.
Good point.
Let
Only
Mark
female got a tryout.
chime in. Let Mark bring him back to reason. Go ahead, Mark.
No,
Go ahead,
I
Mark.
totally agree with. I totally agree with the idea of paying the WNBA players more money. I wouldn't use the NBA players and their salary as a comparison. I just stand alone say the WNBA is a proven entity, and those ladies certainly deserve more money than they're making. It's a wonderful, wonderful um, game that they're putting on full display. The talent is all time great, and they should be paid accordingly.
Well
Yeah,
said.
like bust it, like yo. Yeah, but I agree with Mark 100%. This is what I'm trying to say. Like homegirl, what's Shorty name? Played for the Suns, just got out of jail in Russia.
Brittany
Griner.
Brittany. Yeah, she's only reason she over there in Russia to make more money to play ball. She wouldn't even be in Russia. She was only going to play ball. These females have to go overseas after the season, even though it's not a full NBA season, to make up for the money they're not getting in America. Which is, you got to do that. NBA players go overseas after a while, and some people don't even make it to the NBA. They go straight overseas. But they got to go work 2-3 leagues to make a living.
So why not put Brittany
Before we
on?
go,
Why not put Brittany on the Suns? They need a big man.
I'm not mad at that neither, but at the end of the day, if you go against Brittany go against the Joker, that's a problem. You gotta see the Joker about 3-4 times a year. Now I don't care, man, woman, or child. You don't want the Joel Embiid don't want them problems.
Joel Embiid
I know
won't
Brittany
show
don't
up
want the
for
problems.
it.
You know, yeah. So before we go to break real quick, I know we getting ready to go to break stat. I want to pull some footage up that I found real quick. And I want y'all to check this out. We'll be right back. Hold on.
I did a couple of rocket jocks.
Taking the ball out to Method Man, turnaround jumper. It's good.
This was like the 3-on-3 thing they were trying, some new and I remember NSYNC was part of it, and we beat them kids up.
Uh-oh, rebound. Oh, my God. Good golly, Miss Molly. Give me some of that, boy.
I wonder if they remember that. I had KG and Damon Stoudemire, the Mighty Mouse.
NBA style against entertainment through the legs. Oh, no. Don't make pop music look like that, baby.
On the squad, as well as CAMRON. CAMRON's a GOAT. He the GOAT.
CAMRON.
It couldn't have happened without me, you know what I'm saying? I had all the assists.
Hey,
I remember we were beating the shit out of NSYNC that day.
by Justin Timberlake. Inside the camera, back out to the camera gone next.
Wow, these guys are really
Yeah,
playing
Cam. Yeah, boy.
Because the producers came over and was like, guys, can you take it a little easy on the guys? He said,
Hook, Cameron, who's playing hard behind the back on Antoine Jameson, not respecting the number 4 pick in the draft. I want to see this. Kevin Garnett from us. Oh, he's water.
I know they didn't ask for it, but the producer saw something, or maybe their PR person saw something, was like, they gotta show them all. Method Man is out there elbowing Timberlake in the face. We can't have that.
Inside the METHOD man. Whoa, with another basket.
Chris Kirkpatrick just got smacked by Redman, like that.
Garnett up top, bounce pass in to Cameron, who goes up strong. Whoa, Cameron with the move.
Not as skilled as some of these other guys, or not even close to skilled as these other guys.
The 1998 3-on-3 Rock and Jock Tournament Celebrity MVP, that goes to METHOD man. Man, this is my third Rock and Jock, man. You know what I'm saying, man? I think I deserve this a long time coming. You know what I mean? I want to thank my teammates, CAMRON, Redman, E-Double, Kevin Garnett, Damon Stoudemire. We did it, baby. Top of the world, man. All right, y'all. There we go.
Okay, so I gotta have you guys' reaction. What did you think about the video?
Murder. You see, I'm cooking. I'm all this murder. I do the pass like this.
You looking like Action Jackson out there.
Don't do
I
that.
threw
Don't
Mark
do that.
Jackson pass. I threw the Mark Jackson pass like this, brother. I threw Mark Jackson joint on Mark.
Like,
Here's my question: where'd you get the footage from, man?
Yeah, hey man, listen, man. I know people. Me and Mase know people. I know people. Listen, Mark. I don't want. Hey, yo, listen. Now I know what happened. Murder. I know what happened. I feel like Sebastian. It came in there, Mark. I killed Mark. Know what Mark talking about?
No. I got to give you your props. You had a great day against Lance Bass and Justin Timberlake. You were cooking now.
He was cooking in sync.
Yeah.
Killer,
Yeah,
you
you
was cooking in sync.
Yeah, Kevin, yeah, man. Shout out to my teammates, Kevin Garnett, Damon Stoudemire, Redman, Method, man. We did our thing. Now I see how Sebastian felt. This is when you lose your mind,
This is
when
how you
you
know
ready
how
to rock and jock
Sebastian
and think
felt.
yeah, because now in my brain, I thought I did something at rock and jock.
I bet you guys weren't expecting to see that, but you know it is what it is. It's full of surprises. But we're going to go to break, and when we return, we will discuss Jalen Brunson.
She called this thing about toxic. 4 years and counting. Got you feeling like an option. Maybe I'm my own problem, babe. She tired of hearing I don't know. What's stubborn in me won't fall. Dealing with this thing called trust. But she really thinking about it. She wanna be free. Why am I here? This woman wanna be free. Hell, I don't wanna see her walk away. I wish somebody told me the rules. Disagreements let her win, and it's cool. Even when I'm right, this ain't about you.
Welcome back. Now let's get into our Underdog Fantasy picks of the day. Tonight, the Spurs will play the Magic. Underdog Fantasy has Victor Wembanyama at 5.5 first quarter points. Do you have him higher or lower, Mase?
Higher.
Okay. Cam?
Time for
I'm gonna
Wemby
go
start
lower.
playing.
He be having slow starts. So I'm gonna go lower.
Okay. Paulo Banchero is at 5 assists. Do you have him higher or lower, Cam?
Going higher. That kid's shooting.
He said 5 assists. She said 5 assists.
Oh, I'm sorry. Lower. Pardon me.
Yeah, lower.
Okay. And Jalen Suggs is at 9.5 points. Do you have him higher or lower, Mase?
Higher.
Okay. Cam?
Higher.
Download the Underdog Fantasy app and you can make your picks too. Okay, so Kendrick Perkins said not only has he put the world on notice, but with Julius Randle being out, Jalen Brunson is about to turn it up another level to the point where we're going to have to mention this young man in the MVP conversation. You can book it. Do you think Jalen Brunson should be in the MVP conversation? Right like that.
It depends on how many guys we're talking about in the conversation, but he's certainly having an incredible year for the New York Knicks. Should be, no doubt, representing the Eastern Conference in the All-Star weekend in Indiana. He's a spectacular player. I played with his dad. I knew him since he was a young kid. Extremely proud of what he's doing. He's in the discussion. It's just a question of how many guys you're putting in the discussion, buddy. He's having an outstanding season and really rejuvenated that Knicks franchise.
I think the guy's having an amazing season as well. I don't know if we can yet put him in the MVP conversation. By mere facts, he's not really even starting in the All-Star game. So I think you got to be the top 5 in the coast before you can get to being MVP. But nothing away from him. I'm looking forward to seeing him play. He's one of the reasons why I started watching the Knicks again. I promised to never watch the Knicks again. So he's won me back to watching the Knicks. So a lot of credit there.
Well, what I'll say is this: as far as him not starting, it should absolutely be him starting or
Yes.
Tyrese Maxey starting. As much as I love Damian Lillard, this is a fans vote. The fans voted for the starters, and that's how they get in. It's not about what you've done on the court production-wise and not production-wise. It's about who's most popular in the voting. And
Mm-hmm.
Damian Lillard, as much as I like Damian Lillard, I don't think he should be starting in the All-Star game. Is he the most popular name in the Eastern Conference and having a decent year? Yes, probably so. Him or Donovan Mitchell, I'm talking about his popularity is concerned. But Jalen Brunson's been amazing. The Knicks are in third place right now in the Eastern Conference, which is also amazing because I wouldn't think they'd be in the third place in the Eastern Conference. What I'm really looking to see at is who gets further, Dallas or New York, because we have to realize Dallas didn't want to pay him where he felt he needed to be paid, and that's why he went to the Knicks. But at the same time, Dallas gets Kyrie Irving, and a lot of people will sit there and say, damn, man, I may want Jalen Brunson over Kyrie Irving. Even though Kyrie Irving may be a spectacular talent, who do you want as your point guard right now today? I'm still going to go with Kyrie Irving until further notice, but at the same time, Jalen Brunson is making a case for who you would rather have. So to me, Jalen Brunson, not even MVP conversation, I'm not going to go there just yet, but I think it's sensational that he's leading the Knicks to have them in third place. But for me, it's who won the teams when they were all in the offseason. It wasn't a trade. They was all out of their contract. So did Kyrie win and Dallas, or is Jalen Brunson and the Knicks going to win? That's what it's about for me this year, to see who gets further.
That's a real good point. Yeah, for me, I like to see my MVPs, pause, score more than 26 points. That's just me, preferably,
Okay. Moving along, Jared Vanderbilt was ejected in the first half of the Lakers versus Rockets game on Monday for swiping the top of Dylan Brooks' forehead. The Rockets beat the Lakers 135-119. But just in general, what do you guys think about the antics between the Rockets and the Lakers? Does it seem like a real beef? Does it seem like they're just trying to annoy each other? Like, what do you guys think about everything going on?
Well, Dylan Brooks, that's his job, to irritate, to annoy, to agitate, and he certainly had a foul on LeBron James, swiping him across the head that was borderline flagrant. I believe it's something more to it than just two teams competing. They play with an edge. They try to cheap shot and do different things. I would have liked to see somebody from the Lakers respond and react to the cheap shot by Dylan Brooks, sending a message that you're not going to do that to the best player on our team and not have a price to pay for it. That's how you build a culture. That's how you establish winning ways, and that's how you establish a brotherhood. I think he got away with it. I think Vanderbilt only brushed him on the head because of something he did to him. It wasn't because of retaliation because of LeBron. I'm fine with all of the antics. I just think that messages have to be made throughout the course of the ball game and throughout the course of the season that we're going to protect each other at all costs.
Yeah, that's definitely a sign of a great team when people come to your defense and people stand up for you. And I remember times when they used to any guard go in there and get fouled or he start a fight, people would grab the guard and the bigger guys would step in. But when LeBron is the bigger guy, who steps in for the bigger guy? That's my question.
So to me, answering that, it have to be. I can remember getting into battles with Patrick Ewing and Charles Oakley on my team. If they got into it with a big guy, I'd step in. Nobody's gonna fight, so it's not about size, anything like that. It's just a question of we're gonna draw the line at that. So I think I was disappointed not to see someone step up to the challenge for him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So first of all, it wasn't borderline mark flagrant. That shit he did was foul. Nigga tried to act like it was the wrist, hit them all in the face with the wrist. That shit Dylan Brooks did was super duper foul. Wasn't borderline flagrant. It was on purpose. And you're right. What you said, Mark, in a nice way, is that LA ain't got no goons.
Yeah.
And nobody's stepping up. for LeBron James when you're going to do that shit to LeBron James. Nobody's going to do nothing back about that. And then I have to disagree with you a little bit, Mase, because it ain't about size. Because let me tell you one thing for sure, two things for certain. As much as we play games up here, pause with them or not, if Patrick Beverly was on the Lakers, Patrick Beverly would have ran over and slept the niggas. 6'1" or not.
You're right.
I remember last year he was stepping up in fights when he was with the Lakers for Anthony Davis, for some of the bigger guys. So it's about having that type of player on the team, and I just think the Lakers don't have that type of player. You let a nigga smack LeBron James all in the face and act like it's an accident, that's crazy. Now back to, is this a real rivalry or not? No, this isn't a real rivalry. The Lakers are a storied franchise. Houston has a couple of championships. It's not a real rivalry. What the rivalry is that Dylan Brooks actually got let go from the Memphis Grizzlies for fucking with LeBron James. That's the problem. Dylan Brooks now says, I never want to lose to Memphis. I don't ever want to lose to them. Yeah, because you playing games with LeBron James, saying you're going to make him go left, and he going on left crazy on you the whole game, and you got let go for poking the bear. That was the whole pause. That was the whole slogan last year. He said, I'm going to poke the bear. Pause, I'm going to poke the bear. You got let go because LeBron sent y'all niggas home for playing dumbass games with him. Now you got an attitude with him, team you go to, because you got let go out of Memphis. I think Houston got something great going on down there. They're building a great franchise. Well, they already been a decent franchise when James Harden was there. But this young core players looks like they may have something going on in the next 2 to 4 years. But as far as rivalry, no, this is Dylan Brooks got a problem with LeBron James. And everybody else is just casualties of war. That's what this is all about.
I'll go with that. And I accept that. I still think somebody should have done something. That's King James.
Yes, absolutely.
With that being said, though, I will say this. You want to win in this league, you want guys like Dylan Brooks. So as much as we knock him, I respect the fact that he's willing to compete and get dirty with anybody and everybody. So you need guys like that on your team.
I'm not against that. I listen, I'm just saying what the rivalry is, and you're right, Dylan Brooks is to a lesser degree what Draymond is to Golden State. And you need players that's going to get down and dirty, pause, for certain shit. But I was just talking about as far as Houston and the Lakers having a rivalry. Dylan Brooks, he ended up still getting a bag, but when you play with fire, you're going to get burnt. And now he's mad about it. And until further notice, LeBron James is still the greatest player of this generation, and he's just living in it.
Great points. Okay, and then last topic before we wrap. Shakur Stevenson tweeted, I'm officially retiring from the sport of boxing. I'll be in the gym forever, perfecting my craft and helping the next generation become great and chase their dreams. But I'm not messing with this weak boxing game. So what are you guys' thoughts on his announcement?
Is he serious about?
I think he's serious.
Serious about retirement?
I think he's serious.
Oh, man.
I don't think he's done.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
First thing about retirement, I'll tell him as a young guy who's retired, don't retire, come back washed up and get knocked out. And the second thing I would tell you is you got to know from your girlfriend if she's okay with you retiring, because she got with a boxer. And if you make that change, and hopefully you're able to provide, because women can't downgrade.
I'm gonna just let you all.
I try to get wise advice.
Stat, you could downgrade?
She can downgrade because I mean, what? Like
no, I said, could you downgrade?
Could you downgrade?
I said.
Yes.
I don't think that's a downgrade if you want to retire from boxing.
I said if you
asked
don't
you
have
a question.
things.
I don't think that's a downgrade.
Okay.
No, what I'm saying is this. I'm not asking you to be in her position.
Okay.
I'm asking you purely, can you downgrade?
If you were living with ceilings 30 feet high, and then I moved you back into a place with a 10-foot ceiling, Could you live there?
Mase, don't even give her an example. Just answer the question.
Could I downgrade? The mission is to always upgrade, but I upgrade for myself. That's not dependent on somebody else.
I'm asking you, could you downgrade?
That's my answer,
But
point blank.
So you can't.
It's dependent on me. Like, if I don't want to live in that situation, I'm going to work on that for myself.
I just realized something. We got 2 politicians on the show.
The way we've been talking about it, we're very...
They both from Jacksonville.
The delegate.
That's my answer.
Yo, Stat, all we asked was a yes or no question.
She can't.
It's a yes. It's not a written answer. It's a yes or no. Fill
yes
in.
Or no.
Yes
the
or no.
answers aren't yes or no. Like, and that makes sense.
If you had to, can you downgrade?
If I had to, I don't downgrade, but for myself.
I think we got the answer.
So I was right, fellas.
That is my answer.
I was right, fellas. So I'm telling
you weren't.
No matter how much you think she loves you,
no,
she can't go backwards with you, champ. So I'm telling you this, as a fellow retiree, as a young man. She can't do it.
No.
You know who ain't like downgrading? Stat, you know who didn't like downgrading?
Who?
Joe Smith's wife. She wasn't with it.
That's also like situational though. You know, everybody's different people.
Listen, I'm gonna agree with Mase. It's hard to. I'm not saying girls won't downgrade, but if they back against the wall, they gonna go get it by all means, and then the men may have a problem with how they going to get it. Back to Shakur and them niggas real quick before we jump on this.
Yeah, Killer, that mean they can't downgrade. I'm telling you that.
No, it doesn't. But we agree to disagree.
Go ahead, Killer.
The whole thing about it, Murder, is this. We don't gotta go on with Stat. Once she didn't say yes, we got our answer. It don't even make sense going in a revolving door. It was a yes or no question. She said some things aren't yes or no. Let's move on. What I was going to say about Shakur is that I think whatever he's going through right now, which I don't know, is making him make an emotional decision. I don't think that he'll retire definitely. I think that his last fight, a lot of people were disappointed on him not showing a better performance. Devin Haney's last fight, Devin Haney had a great performance. As we all know, he was trolling Shakur, that is, Devin Haney, going to clubs he's at, places he's at, sending him over bottles in the club with signs on it, fight me. And according to the last fights of both of them, Devin Haney looked good. Shakur looked decent. He won the fight, but it wasn't what people wanted to see. And it definitely wasn't going to get people to pay pay-per-view to see him, even though the fight was for free on ESPN. All this boils down to revenue, ad dollars, etc. And if you don't get any real money, these fighters seem like they don't want to fight. Everybody wants $10 million out the gate. And you have to work your way to that. I know it gets frustrating when you see people like Jake Paul come and make $50 million, or Conor McGregor come in there and make $125 million. They only have 4 or 5 professional fights. This goes back to marketing and promotion. These guys know how to market and promote. I know Conor McGregor was in the UFC for a long time, but you got to think about how Jake Paul got to where Jake Paul is at, making more money than a lot of fighters. So it goes back to promotion. Some promoters mess up. We just talked about how Bob Arum dropped the ball with Terrence Crawford because he said Terrence Crawford couldn't make any money. Now, I think Terrence Crawford needs to strike while the iron's hot, not necessarily wait on Spence, but figure out who he's going to fight next. But as far as Shakur Stevenson, his last performance wasn't his best, and he may be getting frustrated about what's going on about having a big fight. So I think it's emotional, but I don't think he's really going to retire.
And I don't think he's going to retire. I don't think his last fight was indicative of who he is. He's a great fighter, had a tough night. He won having a tough night. I expect, the frustrating thing about boxing, which you touched on, I want to see the best fight the best. Let's get back to that. Instead of ducking and dodging and taking the easiest route, make the biggest possible fights available and allow the fans to enjoy it.
Yeah, there's a lot of fights for him. I mean, I know a lot of times people just mention Devin Haney, but there's other fights out there. There's Javante, there's Ryan, there's also the fight with him and Teofimo. There's a lot of people not fighting each other. I think everybody's just trying to fight Devin and Javante instead of working their way up.
Hey, well, Mark Jackson, it was a pleasure to have you today.
Thanks, Mark. We appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, guys. Likewise.
Okay. That is all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching. And as always, it is what it is.
Two Big Macs, like when they doing them 2 for